Hello, Mr. D here again. Um, this is not a new bike day, but it's just a review on a bike that I've been riding for quite a few months now. This is the 2023 uh, Trek Roscoe um, 7. Okay, this is the Roscoe 7. It's a 29 inches bike. It is a really nice bike, so I decided to make a review with you for you guys because this bike has really surprised me. Either for riding as a even like a cross country-ish bike on a nice trail with some moderate features, and also as an stunt bike. You guys can see there right now I have the factory flat pedals that came with it. Is a nylon super reinforced pedal. This is really good pedal. I just use to do like some stunts in parking lots, this kind of stuff. But if I want to go to the trail and ride it as a cross country-ish bike, I will put on my clip pedals in it and ride it. As I said, this bike, it's really nice bike. It's a 29er, as you can see. I have the Bontrager tires and rims there. That tire is actually came with came factory with it. It's a 2.6 tire, XR14 issue. This tire came tubeless, and it came with the tubeless air valve as well. As you can see, it's blacked out as well. It matches it. And this tire is really nice because it is super reinforced, right? It's a really thick reinforced tire, so it's incredible how much you can get away with that on the trails. I had like super hard hits already in roots and rocks in it, and I definitely thought that I had damaged the rim, but actually it didn't. It kind of bit the tire here a little bit, but nothing like, I didn't damage the rim, so I have no inserts there. With my Scott Genius there is another story, but yeah, it's lots of weight, but that bike I don't care for. If it is heavier, I don't care. This one I don't want to make it too heavy. As I said, it's a hardtail and also a cross-country-ish bike. You guys, although it has 65 degrees of a head tube angle and like around 73.1 degrees on the angle at the seat tube, this bike climbs incredibly well. Aluminum frame. It's not very stiff and comfortable. This bike, it actually surprised me a lot. And it has it came factory with 140 millimeters RockShox rack and suspension. So I think this bike is an entry level on the cheaper side. I think now I'm not sure if it is 30 millimeters or 32 millimeters. I would think it's 30 millimeters. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's a 140 millimeters. For a hardtail, I think it's a little bit much. If I could bring the suspension down to 130, even 120 millimeters on this bike, I think it would be perfect for trail situations. But for stunts, it keeps the front end a little bit taller, so it's kind of good. Like small bike trial tricks to learn how to do them. And popping wheelies, that's the perfect setup, that you can comfortably can pull the bike. The bike comes easily up the front end, and use just easily. Which brings me to the brake situation. The brakes that came with it was a really long lever. I even forget the name. It was a really long lever, really beginner looking lever. I found it weird, so I kind of upgraded the levers for this DR, which completely changed the looks of the bike. In the and saves a little bit of weight. Also, I went ahead and swapped the brakes for the XT front and rear. These are a set of XT M8100. Oops, sorry. Let's see if we can see here. There you go. So front and rear, because the brakes that came with this bike on the trails going downhill, it was scary. I'm on the heavier side. On a good day, I'm a kind of, let's say, 195, 200 pounder, So those brakes that came factory with that were scary. And once I put in the XT, they bedded in super quickly, popping wheelies and stuff like that. The brakes just like became settled, the pads super quickly. And this XT brakes with this lever, I have like plenty of modulation and I have plenty of power too. It's nothing like the XT is not even close as powerful as my DR 6120 that I have on my full suspension bike. But the XT brakes are definitely, you could definitely hop on a rear wheel with the rear brake locked up and the bike won. It won't roll underneath you, You're not gonna roll back for sure. If it is bedded in, you have the right pads there. I'm running metal pads in there, and those metal pads, they grip. As you can see, I swapped the bars as well. This is a Synchros. This is a 760 millimeters bar. And I think it's about 20 millimeters rise. It's a low riser bar. I used to be like a flat bar guy on the hardtails, but these bars are surprisingly good on the hardtail as well. Even for doing tricks, I could have put a longer, much taller, steeper stem there, but I was like, no, just this bike is not only for tricks; it's more like a mountain bike too. So yeah, there it is. But also, this frame allows you to put in. It came with like a ISG tabs. So I'm thinking it's ISG or ICSG. I might be mistaken with the name, but it allows you to run a bash guard in there. This is I bought aftermarket, but it allows you to put a bash guard in there, or a bash guard slash a chain guard combo. For this bike, you're gonna need it, believe me. If you wanna use at least 75-80% of this bike can offer you, you're gonna need a bash guard there, believe me. But it's not as bad because this bike, Trek really thoughtful of it. Putting just send the frame factory with this rubber protection right there underneath the frame. It is like really good, really nice. If you guys are gonna do silly stuff with this bike here, you're gonna need all that. This frame came with lots of reinforcement, possibilities here if you want to add them to save the frame if you guys want to sell it later, and you're not gonna destroy it. You can get as much as you can. Also, this bike came with a race face crank set. I didn't like that much, so I ended up also upgrading it to this Dior 6000 or 6100 model, and it is 30 teeth sprocket there, and it is 170 millimeters length for the crank arm. Everything else I kept stock. I like that Dior 6100 rear derailleur, and this is a Dior 2 crank. It came factory with that. Really durable. I don't care about weight, so I'm just let it rip. This is I think is a Transex seat post that came too with the bike. After a while, it developed a little play. As I coming down on the rocks, you can hear it. It kind of, knocking a little bit. It still works perfectly, but it has little playing there. So, and this Synchros Duncan here, been using for about this bike. This is probably a 2022. So since last year, still. I've used much more this bike, this Scott, than this one, and this tip post, there's no play at all, no play. Now this guy here, I bet there's this play that developed, but it's still working fine, going up and down as it should. Just don't like that start rattle. Higher speed, bumpy roads, bumpy trails, rocky. But anyways, didn't do much on this bike, but just so you could, help me fit more the use I had for it, which is like cross country-ish ride and some stunts, popping wheelies, hopping on the rear wheel, this kind of stuff, jumping stuff, like bunny hops and all that. It's a really nice bike if you are on the market for a nice hired sale. This is the Miami green and Trek black. As you can see, there's little splashes, black paint there. This bike reminds me, the color reminds me of the first mountain bike ever my father gave me, and I was like, I think 12 years old. That was probably 1992, 1993. He gave me a mountain bike. It had the same frame as this called Avalanche, but it wasn't a Scott. It was an ATN something. It was like a steel frame back then. It was my first mountain bike, 26 inches, and I had lots of fun on that. Put the love of mountain bike in me, so never went back, always mountain biking. And if you have any questions about this bike, this is a medium size. I'm about 5'9", so fits me perfectly. Let me know if you have any questions. I love this bike. I can assure you, you won't regret. It's a great bike too if you like taking it to the pump tracks or like some dirt jumps even. Just put the seat down, and go do your thing. The suspension locks up completely too. There's no lever. It's just like a easy reach to here. and you can put air right here. The rebound of the suspension, you could make it faster or slower as you wish. Underneath here, little tab underneath there, you can regulate. They say it is intermediate cheap suspension, but this suspension works really great. There's some really nice features in there. It's plenty stiff. I think it's because of the stanchions that are steel. So, you know, even though the stanchions are thin, being steel gives you lots of weight, but it also makes it very stiff too. So, something to consider there, you know. It's a good suspension. I could just bring down the travel of the suspension as I wish. Anything, you know, from 100 to like 140, I think is fine. This suspension was designed by Trek to accommodate up to a 150 millimeter suspension. I wouldn't go that high. I think that even 140 millimeters is lots of travel for this bike. As I said in the beginning, for me, if it was 120 or 130 millimeters tops of travel, for me, it would be plenty, you know. But, hey, you know, whatever floats your boat there. So, let me know if you have any questions. All right, happy trails. See you later.